Hello, I'm Tim Krul. Welcome to Norwich City Central.
Hello, everybody. Lewis, Norwich City Central. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome back to another preview. Yet again, I'm in quite a tentative mood going into this game, but let's hope Norwich City can pick up something, a goal, a little bit of optimism, just something, to pick up. In this match preview, we'll be talking about West Ham, Norwich, and also Dean Smith's press conference as well. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in regards to a lot of things that are happening at Norwich at the moment, and a lot of those things are slightly worrying, but we'll talk about that. Let's start with talking about the Charlton game firstly. I was at the game. It was an absolutely incredible atmosphere, and despite some hideous recent results for Norwich, including the 2-0 loss to Villa at home, the 5-0 loss to Arsenal, and the 3-0 loss to Palace, the atmosphere has been um, I don't know. I wouldn't know whether to necessarily say it's been a good atmosphere, but it's certainly been an entertaining one where Norwich City fans are making noise about the situation, and the Charlton atmosphere was absolutely brilliant. In terms of the performance, the first half was as bad as I've seen us play in a long time. And let's not forget, Charlton are a League One team. They won the midfield battle. Charlton were the better team overall, and it was only from the 70th to the 80th minute where Charlton started to run out of legs, where Norwich City took advantage. But particularly that first half, losing the midfield battle, sloppy, no intensity going forward, and sometimes the FA Cup provides an opportunity for you to feel more confident about a Norwich City side, and there's very few positives, honestly, to take from that Charlton game. Obviously, we got the clean sheet, and Milot Rashica coming back was excellent, but the midfield battle was a real worry for me, and that's where I feel like Norwich City's biggest downfall could be going forward this season. I mean, Norman's our best player. He's still out injured. Billy Gilmore's out for 3 to 4 weeks, which, no matter what your opinion on him, he's probably the best midfielder we've got besides Matthias Norman. And then the others, Kenny McLean and Lucas Ripp's injured, so there's 3 out of the 6 centre midfielders are injured. And then you got Sorensen, McLean, and Pierre Lise Malou have been nowhere near Premier League level, which is really worrying. And that was my biggest concern against Charlton, the lack of intensity going forward, and also there was overrun in the midfield. I mean, Charlton were more athletic, physical than us. And coming to this game against West Ham, when you've got Declan Rice, Thomas Soucek, who are absolute physicality personified, really, really good on the ball as well. And then you got their creative players, Bowen, Lanzini, Benarama, Antonio up front. I look at West Ham and I look at this Norwich City team, and it really speaks levels about the recruitment. And I know West Ham have had a lot more money to play with, but the West Ham team, like, all over the pitch. And one of the reasons I think West Ham have been successful because there's so much athleticism there and physicality there. And Norwich City don't have any of those characteristics. And although hindsight is obviously a wonderful thing, and I think a lot of Norwich City fans were positive about the recruitment from Stuart Webber in the summer. There were a few unknowns there, and those unknowns, which I think fans were trying to be optimistic about, have not worked. And Dean Smith's press conference, two really worrying lines coming out of that press conference. Of course, Billy Gilmore injury is not nice, but the main line really that Norwich City do not expect to do any business in the January transfer window, which is really, really alarming because this Norwich City side, we're told that, I mean, from a Norwich City perspective, I think Norwich City fans are some of the most patient and loyal fans in the country in terms of the attendances and in terms of what they've put up with, in terms of some of the things Stuart Webber have said. I've really liked Stuart Webber. And but some of the lines that have been coming out, as I say, Norwich City are a really patient bunch of fans, aren't they? But the idea that we've gone to war in the Premier League with guns, bazookas, and tanks, whatever you want to call it, is utterly ridiculous because the defence, so many issues there. But the main issue, as I say, is the midfield. And the midfield is the heart of the team. It's the most crucial part of the team. If you don't have a good midfield, it leaves you exposed defensively, and going forward, it leaves you in a really difficult position as well. It's almost a multiplier effect. If you can get the midfield right, it helps a lot of other areas of the team. And that midfield just looks incredibly weak. The lack of numbers there, a lack of Premier League quality, which has to be blamed on the recruitment and also the players and the manager. Everyone's got to take the stick, but yeah, a ball worry. In terms of West Ham, though, their performances have picked up. Started the season really well. Initially, looked like they were definitely going to get top four football, didn't they? Playing excellent football. Then their form dipped a bit, but they have started to improve. A 2-0 win against Leeds. in the FA Cup third round, and also beat Crystal Palace and had some good results in the Premier League coming into this game. Antonio's return for them, which is what it's the last thing you want to hear from a Norwich City perspective. He's a bully. And then they've got some really other talented players. I've really enjoyed watching Jared Bowen, someone who Norwich City were linked with. Went for, I think, an eight-figure transfer fee. Fantastic player. Benarama's another one who's done really well in the Premier League this season. Then you've got the physicality of Rice and Sojcek, and defensively as well, the likes of Zuma, Ogbonna, Shofal, left back. It's just all around. They've got a lot of quality, and their recruitment's been excellent. And David Moyes is an excellent manager. And I'm expecting a very, very difficult game at the London Stadium on Wednesday evening. From a Norwich City perspective, I mean, the only thing I can think of is if you look at it in context, with Dean Smith, the first 5 games, let's be honest, we started well. Obviously beating Southampton, a draw against Wolves we should have won. Newcastle game was poor, Tottenham game was okay but poor up front, and the Man United game was good. But you can also flip those and think, well, the Newcastle game we was actually poor, in the Tottenham game going forward, we really lacked quality, and also the Man United game, we were playing against a terrible Man United game, and most Premier League teams would have got something from that game. But the last 3 games, whatever you want to blame it on, they've been utterly atrocious everywhere on the pitch. Norwich haven't looked like scoring, we've looked like conceding at every opportunity, and an aggregate of 10-0 is quite fortunate over those 3 Premier League games. Obviously, a couple of players were out from COVID. A few players, obviously, or particularly for the Aston Villa game, the first one, there was lots of COVID disruption. But for the games over the Christmas period, wasn't really many COVID cases. It was more so just a couple of big injuries to the likes of Pookie, Aarons, and Norman. But I think the positives are now that Norwich City are starting to get players back. Of course, Norman, Rupp, and Gilmore is the big losses all in the midfield. Probably our 3 best midfielders, I'd argue, this season. But with Rashita back, maybe some attacking quality. I'm clutching at straws here, but and also to be honest, regardless of the injuries and COVID cases, all those kind of excuses, you can't also blame them as well, because Crystal Palace had Elise out, Zaha out, Eze out, Conor Gallagher out, and still beat us comfortably. So you can look at all those cases, but Norwich City have to be better, and they've been far from it. And going into this West Ham game, I'm incredibly worried. The performance against Charlton didn't make me think that Norwich City had turned a corner. We're lethargic with the ball. So yeah, I am slightly worried. I think we go for a back 5 to this game. I'm not going to bother predicting the team, because regardless of what team we're going to play, it's going to be an incredibly difficult job. And to be fair, I really don't know what team Dean Smith's going to pick. And I don't even know what team's best. Do you go Sargent up front? Do you go Sargent on the wing? It's an absolute mess at the moment, and but let's hope maybe Norwich City can pull an upset. The biggest game though coming up is Everton on Saturday, because Everton have won 1 in their last 11 games, I think, since they beat us, and their form has been relegation form. So that is a massive game. But let's hope against this West Ham team we can get a few positives out of it and build going forward, and goodness knows we need that. In terms of the score prediction, I'm normally quite optimistic, but 3-0 West Ham for me. I've seen nothing from this Norwich City team to suggest we've going to turn a corner, and the recruitment, of course, has been a real worry. The midfield is a real worry. The fact that we're not going to have any more recruitment is a real worry. But apart from that, everything's all good. But I'd love to hear your thoughts down below going into this game against West Ham United. Thank you for all the support on the channel. Really enjoyed the match day experience. 1,000 plus views as well, so you guys seem to enjoy it. And yeah, let's hope come full time on Wednesday we'll be singing On the Ball City and all very happy. I mean, we can dream, can't we? Thank you for watching. Subscribe to Norwich City Central if you're new, and I'll see you later.